Hello, it's great to be here up in front of APHA, the nation's top public health organization. I want to thank Georges Benjamin for putting this all together, and it's great to see all my colleagues here as well. I was acting Surgeon General from 2007 to 2009, which is a period of time that has some similarities to the current period. Congress and the Senate were of different parties. I mean, the President and Senate were of different parties. President's nominee was stuck in a committee. In my case, I was brought into this maelstrom from another part of the federal government. Explicit agreement and strong support, though, from Secretary Leavitt, who was the Secretary of HHS when I was there, to really support me in doing what I could in my tenure in the role was the reason that I agreed to take the job and why I think I was able to get what I got done. I've spent a lot of my time focused on the issue of childhood obesity and then spent a fair amount of time as well on underage drinking and some other drug abuse prevention activities. I traveled to just about 40 states in the 2 years, speaking, meeting with community groups, academics, politicians, and health leaders, put out some calls to action, one on deep venous thromboses, a second on healthy homes, and worked on a great conference with the National Institute for Child Health and Development on preterm birth. I was also, go preterm birth. I also helped Reenergize the journal of the Office of the Surgeon General, Public Health Reports, and did about 10 columns that my successors have concluded and done as well. So this is a very important mouthpiece for the Public Health Service and for public health as a whole, and I'd like to see that journal get even stronger. And then when the presidential election occurred, I stepped into a joint role as acting Surgeon General and also acting Assistant Secretary for Health. And right after the election, we faced H1N1, really as an HHS leadership team, a leadership team for a while without a leader. And then, of course, the Recovery Act. And the day after President Obama signed the Recovery Act, which had probably the biggest infusion of prevention funds that have gone into the government in a long time, we were called down, yay! We were called down, the transition team, we sat around a table and started reading the amounts of money that were coming to HHS to spend, and really each one of us around the table got about $1 billion minimum that we were in charge of figuring out how to spend over the next few months. So that was a pretty good way to end my government career, helping people, and probably some of you were grant recipients from those. I think it was about $500 million in prevention funds. So it was a great honor to participate in a smooth transition, both for the Office of Surgeon General and for HHS as a whole. So what did I learn from all this experience? I think my overwhelming sense from visiting places outside the Beltway was that I was filling a leadership role and filling a leadership void in public health. The American people really want a Surgeon General. The health messages bombarding us every day from all sides. Many of them are either deceptive or only half-truths, or some of them are outright wrong. At the very least, they're confusing, and people, even technical experts in the health field, deeply appreciated a national figure who cut through all that and could really tell it like it was. I never felt impeded by the fact that I was acting without Senate confirmation. Maybe the first few weeks it took a little getting used to, but it really worked out just fine. And then, of course, this same scenario has been repeated again. So it's too easy, however, to wring our hands and say, bemoan the partisanship in DC and say, you know, we can't get anything done, public health can't do anything. Really, the hand-wringing, for me at least, is sort of makes me yawn. Leadership in public health does not require Senate confirmation, and we should should not use the current impasse in the government as any excuse to not pursue a vigorous public health agenda in this country. Thanks. My successes convinced me of that, and there are plenty of other examples of this, including our current acting Surgeon General, Boris. Yes, worry about the decline of the position of the Surgeon General, but don't let that stop even one of you from being a public health rabble-rouser, giving truth to issues by focusing on sound science and focusing on clear advocacy. That is in your hands. Thank you.